It's been a day. It's bright and early in the morning. It's 10 o'clock. We're good to go. We're ready to disassemble the whole thing. So, I did some research. Apparently, there's supposed to be a plastic guide thing down there. You can't see it. Because it's, like, right there. Kinda. Maybe you can see it a little bit. But it's broken. I need to replace that. But you see, the great thing about it is, I can't replace it without taking all of this off. So, I guess it's time to start disassembling. That'll do it for today. We gotta get a game plan. Gotta get a game plan. Okay, another day, another, I guess, day. I don't know where I was going with that. But, yeah, it's another day. And I've done research and all that, and I now know what must be done. And here's the distributor, out. Alright, and now we just get this, and these. Clarity's sake, the distributor was a 1/2 inch. These are all 14s. Okay, once you get that out, all the bolts out, you can just kinda Did I get all the bolts out? So once you've gotten that bolt back there, then it should just come. Oh, what now? Alright, finally got that little bottom bolt out. First off, I was doing the wrong one originally. You're supposed to get the one that's right there. Secondly, you can't get a 3/8" ratchet in there. There's not enough space without taking this off. I'd be wondering, well, I thought you were taking that off. Turns out you need a puller. Yeah, that's right, you need a pulley puller. But anyway, I don't have one, so I couldn't do that. So what I had to do was I had to get a 1/4 inch ratchet, shimmied in between there. But wait, 1/4 inch does not give you enough leverage. So I spent about 30 minutes messing with a 1/4 inch ratchet and a lot of WD-40. And what I eventually ended up doing is taking my 1/4 inch ratchet, putting it under there at about this angle. Then I had a 9/16 wrench, you can see down there, coming off of it in the way that you do for extra leverage. But that still wasn't enough leverage. So I ended up having to take, okay, let me see if I can get this set up roughly the way that I had it. Okay, so the ratchet and wrench look like that in there. Kind of like that in here. So I ended up taking a wooden pole, putting it up against the end of the wrench and on the crankshaft pulleys. Messed with that for about 10 minutes and eventually got it to break loose. But yeah, this thing's finally loose. What you're going to want to do is just kind of set it off to the side somewhere. I guess remove, well, I guess that doesn't, yeah, it does. Remove that thing, and then remove this bracket. It's off. So yeah, it was pretty easy, you know. Moderate level difficulty. Oh yeah. Also, you might be wondering how I'm getting this camera angle. Just in the engine bay. Nothing too bad. Okay, so I got all this disconnected. Do not forget to put this on. Do not forget to put that ground back on, Jay. Okay, this is off. That was 4 bolts. Well, 3 bolts and a nut. Okay, I need to remove all of these, so let me make sure I take very good note of where that all is. Okay, I need to memorize where the wiring harness goes. This thing goes into this. These two go into these. This thing goes down to this. these go into their respective injectors. That thing down there needs to come off. This thing. I think that's all of them. Yeah. I think this is what the head bolt and hold is supposed to look like. That checks out. Okay. So far, you've only seen a couple of little clips of me trying to make sure that I got the right things put back on when I rebuild, but it's time. It's ready. Okay, so this... Okay, so the third one from the bottom comes up to the charcoal canister. The top one goes into that thing.
Trying to get this one off. Yeah, what's this bottom one here? I don't know where it's going.
The one on the very bottom?
Now the second one.
The second bottom. Okay, so the top one goes to that thing. Diaphragm.
And then this one.
And then that one goes to...
Just take it on from here.
Yeah. Oh, you got it? Okay, so this is coming down through this.
Okay.
Okay, I think this is gonna have to come off.
Piece of a clamp. Yeah. Whew. Keep telling you, something's down there.
I don't see anything, though.
This thing here has a hose on it.
Where?
Right here.
Well, if I didn't need to change the oil before, I definitely need to now.
What was that?
That was me hitting this thing. There's my guide. Alright, back at you with another update. I'm sorry I haven't really been recording all of the actual work, but it's just been too much, well, work to actually, because I don't have any kind of bipod or anything. I have to hold it, and I can't work and hold it at the same time, so, yeah. So, first thing I realized, This is a broken ground. No idea where it goes, but it hasn't impeded the function of anything. Have to figure it out at some point, though. Secondly, this thing. You just take the cylinder head off before you try and take that off. Fuel rail. You have to take the fuel rail off to get to this freaking Allen head. Okay, so to remove the lower intake, you have to remove like 20 different bolts, right? Bolts and nuts combined along this. However, there's also going to be an Allen wrench head underneath. Let me go find the intake. It's going to be right here. No? Right here. Now that's going to be hidden underneath the fuel rail. You need to remove that before you can remove the lower intake. And it is a pain. Oh my god. So, it was stripped. So I had to take a larger size, hammer it in, stick this through, and then you can see the results of what I had to do. I had to take a vice grip the screwdriver, and turn it as hard as I could. You could see what happened before it broke loose, but it's out. Good lord. As for this, I don't know if I actually recorded taking the head off or not. I probably did. I don't know. But, yeah. This wiring harness here goes through the lower intake. So you have to remove it first. This connects to the oil pressure sensor, the starter, and the transmission. That's going to be your neutral safety switch and all that. And it's also part of the same harness that goes to the taillights, but there is a connector underneath the truck around the transmission area where you can disconnect that. Thank God they allowed you to do that. This is what the connector is going to look like. It's this larger one. And then you got these two connectors on the transmission. And this is going to be all your injectors and stuff. Here is my attempt at... I don't know if I actually recorded this or not. My oil pressure sensor switch was broken. Or the wire for it was. So I found a new wire in the trash can of my automotive shop. Twisted them together and electrical taped it. I didn't feel like actually soldering it under there. Actually, I can probably solder it while it's up here. And it's a project for another day. But, yeah. So that's all that. Now, what I did here is what you would do if you weren't replacing the timing chain and stuff. I don't know why I still did it. But basically, you just zip tie that there and you'll keep time. I gotta remove all this crap anyway, so it doesn't really help that I did that, but whatever. I still need to drain the oil. I'll probably do that here in a second. But yeah, just remember where you put all your vacuum lines. If you've seen a bunch of clips of me saying, hey, this is where this goes, this is where this goes, this is where this goes. That was me marking where everything went for myself. And I guess for you, if you also wanted to do that, but yeah. Yeah, that's all that.
Flat tip screwdriver, right?
Flat tip?
Dowel pins are holding it. I only put dowel pins on one side. That's weird.
Yeah, because this side was up from the very beginning. Man, this thing is filthy right here.
Yeah, it's called an EGR hole. Oh shit. Somebody's been in the head before.
Yay, we got the parts in. This should be the last of what I need. Oh yeah, look at that. Got some cam gears, chain, gaskets. Oh, wait, I thought these would be the plastic guides. Bro, we got metal guides? Oh, okay. I thought these would be the plastic ones. Heck, even the site said it'd be plastic, but I ain't complaining. Alright. Let's go.
Bump it.
Went on Amazon, grabbed a tool that my uncle, who also has one of these trucks, said would be helpful. Hopefully this actually does work. Yeah. Alright, world. So, haven't actually recorded it yet. I screwed up. As you can see, that's nice and rounded off. I was turning it the wrong way with those 3-4 foot breaker bars that I was showing you before. So since then, we've taken many measures, and I've been working mostly on the head lately, but now we're finally going to get to actually removing this broken bolt. Or strip one. Round it. So that's where we are. We're going to weld a socket over it and pull it out with that. Make sure you're turning it the right way if you haven't done this before. Don't be me. Yeah, I guess let's get to it.
And weld them together. Narrate, Jay.
It has been
Tony's tool.
Yeah, Tony's tool. He got that he machined. We got that on there, and we got it breaking loose and turning, which is good. Is this turned right? Ah, nice.
You crushed your little.
Ah, dang. Alright, well. We got it off. That was extremely easy. It just popped off. We went through the trouble of getting this thing, and we didn't need to.
No, it just slid right off.
Wish I was recording that. You were in the middle of tightening it up, and then it was just like, boop.
I was tightening it with my fingers.
Okay, 5 bolts on the front cover. Here's your oil pump. Here's your bolts. 2 long ones. 3 medium-ish ones. I took pictures of which one went where, so, yeah. Okay. So, we got it off, as you can see. Try not to pull when you're doing this, try not to pull too hard on one side. There's 3 bolts holding it on. Those bolts, let me show you on the timing cover. The 3 ones that are going to be holding this thing on specifically. Like, obviously, you're going to have all these little ones for the oil pump. But for this thing itself, you're going to have this one here. Okay, maybe there's more than 3. You can see, there's a bunch. All the ones that I got out, you're going to have to take out. And we got this. So now, it's actually time to do, what I'm here to do. Let's get this timing crap done. I just realized, I'm pretty sure I forgot to explain why you shouldn't pull it too hard on one side. This is why. You got right here and right here, they're dowel pins. So, they're to make sure that you have it on right when you put it back on, and that it stays in the right spot. Even with all those bolts in, it can still move a little bit, and for a good seal, it needs to be, perfect straight on, and that's what those are for. Well, you pull too hard to one side, you might break one, or mess up the timing cover, or the block, or something. You're gonna mess something up. So what I did was I took a knife, jammed it in on one side, and just kind of turned it around a bit until I got it more or less loose. Did the same thing on this side. Same thing down here, just go around it with a knife, kind of, yeah. Don't dig in too deep, you don't want to screw up the gasket surface. Just take a knife you don't care too much about, like this thing, and, yeah. Okay. Not sure how well you can see it. Let me fix that. Get some light on it. There's some glistening bits in there. Like right here. That is metal. That's probably from, let me go to the timing cover real quick. Got everything stacked over here. That's probably gonna be from, yeah. So, let me actually show you what happens when those plastic guides break. When those plastic guides break, your timing chain just breaks through them and starts going to town on the outside of your timing chain cover. You can see this went to town. That's, I'm not sure if I can get it nice and good in there. So you can just see how deep that is. Now, I've heard stories of them eating straight through this. And you know, until I actually saw it like this, I wasn't sure. This is upside down, isn't it? Yup. Oh boy. But I wasn't actually sure if that could have been possible. You know, like, how does that break through? Well, I'm looking at this now. Yeah, that's possible. Good lord. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna get back to working on this. Alright, I just did a little bit of test fitting. You can see the results of it. I just got everything finger tight-ish in here. Just trying to make sure I got everything right. Let me just throw that down there. Obviously, I'm gonna have to take the oil pan out. You can already see remnants of my timing cover in there. So obviously, I'm gonna need, you know, take that off. Now, I heard that you can actually get away with just removing that thing right there to get the steering stuff apart. Get that, and then the steering damper, which is right there. You can drop that once you get the cross member out of the way. All that stuff should be out of your way. I don't know if I need to take the tire off to do that. I don't see why I would, so I won't. Hopefully it doesn't collapse onto my face. Yeah. So, the kit that I got from carparts.com came with some gaskets. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get to scraping the old gasket off. Done this before. It's best to find a guide, whether that be a random internet person or someone you know who's done this before. That's probably something I should have put at the beginning of this, to be honest. Anyway, I'm scraping gaskets. Oh, okie dokie, guys. So, steering things got taken off. As I said, easiest way is to remove this. It's got 3 bolts here. Don't mind the AC just kind of jutting out there. Not supposed to be there. Normally it won't be. But, yeah. 3 bolts on the deer frame right there. And then the steering damper, you see it there. That is 1 bolt, 12 millimeter, right there. Now you're gonna notice when you start to turn the steering damper, it's gonna spin. Well, generally, in a good situation, you will have some vice grips and a wrench. You'll grip it with the vice grips, lock it right there, and then get the wrench and start turning. That's in a good situation. I don't own a pair of vice grips. Lost them years ago. Never been found since. Can't afford new ones. So, what you're gonna want to do, please ignore that, is just grab this and turn it. It honestly wasn't hard at all. I don't know why that's... Yeah, there we go. It's really not difficult at all. It might look rusty. It's really not. I thought I was going to be fighting it the whole way through. It was super easy. Just turn this, hold the wrench still. But yeah, that's how you do that. Okay, it's out. So, you don't have to disconnect anything else here. Obviously, as I said, you disconnect that and that. Take all the bolts out for that. And then you can pull it forward and down, back out. Now you might think, you might be trying to do it and it's not working. Well, my solution to that is just turn it just a little bit. Turn the wheel a little bit. That'll fix it right up. It'll get it just that extra little bit more slack you need to get it out. As for the oil pan, well, here it is. I'll be thinking, is that metal? And to answer your question, yes. Huh. That's interesting. That is interesting. You know, people have asked me, Jay, why do you insist on cleaning out all the EGR crap and putting it back on? Why don't you just delete the EGR? You know, it's 26 years old now. It doesn't need the past emissions anymore. And it's just unnecessary. Extra weight. Extra complication. You don't need it. And to that I say, okay, whatever. Because I like the idea of having the EGR on this truck. You know, I like the idea of it getting just that little bit more eco-friendly. You know, it's still not fantastic, obviously. It's still 94 emission standards. They don't have to pass emissions anymore for a reason. It's out of date. But not only that, but it also... I want to keep the truck as original as possible. Everything is as stock as possible, and that's why I've been reusing as much stuff as I could. Obviously, I can't reuse gaskets and stuff, but the injectors and stuff I chose to rebuild. A lot of the stuff I chose to rebuild, or to redo. For example, the valve stem seals. I just want to keep it as original as possible, and one of those things that came from the factory was EGR, emissions. So, I just feel like to keep it as original as possible, as stock as possible, I'm going to keep it. So that's why. Okay, so I have blown out pretty much everything, obviously. I had tried not to get the coolant. As you can see, I definitely did get the coolant a couple times. Trying to blow out all these holes, these for the head bolts. Oh well. Alright, that is near perfect top dead center. That's what I want. And now, everything's blown out, everything's cleaned off. Let's get this friggin' head back in. Alright, so it's the next day. Oh, next 2 days. And as you might have noticed, head's back off. Well, I was just going to leave it like that, but then I remembered that I didn't actually clean out these journals. I think that's what they're called. Or oil them. So, went ahead, took it back off, and went ahead and decided to do that. I also left the EGR crap at school. So, I need to put that on as well. It'd be a lot easier to put it on outside of the truck. So yeah, I just popped it back out. I don't know if I'm actually going to just not edit in that part where I put it back in. That way you don't have to waste your time watching that, only for me to take it back out. I don't know. It's going to be up to future me to decide. But I'm not future me. I'm me now. Me now. So, yeah. I'm 99% sure that this is supposed to have a gasket on it. But I don't have one in my set. That's slightly concerning. Okay, so it has been a week since I ordered the parts. The last video was recorded yesterday. But, yeah, I'm officially broke. However, I got new pintle caps. They're installed. This one is the original one. I left it there because it wasn't broken. And yeah, we got new pintle caps on there, if it'll focus. And this thing is ready to be installed onto the lower intake. Yeah, it's a pretty simple job. Literally bolt on. Yeah, let me just do that.